A sample of Play on Words, the grand tour of the British Isles, with Kenneth Michaels as Jim, Henry Daw as Tom, and Bethan Lation as Charlotte.
Hello, Tom. Hello, Charlotte.
Hello, Jim.
Good evening, Jim.
I'm so sorry I'm late, Tom. Teresa and I were delayed in traffic coming back from our grand tour of the British Isles.
Don't worry in the slightest, Jim.
Where have you been exactly, Jim, if I may ask?
Oh no, Charlotte, that's torn it. You'll never hear the end of it now. You know how Jim can never resist dropping the names of all the places he's been to on his travels.
Nonsense, Tom, nonsense. Charlotte, could you get me a lemon and lime Regis, please?
And Carlisle have an appetize, please, Charlotte.
You see, you're just as bad.
Well, anything to humour you, old chumley?
And would you care for some nice hot crumpets straight out of the toaster?
No, thank you, Charlotte. We've eaten.
Very good, gentlemen. Oh, while I think about it, if that table's too low, please don't move to any of the others without checking with me first. Somerset for dinner this evening.
Well, you're looking well after your holiday, my dear chap. I want to hear all about it.
Yes, well, there's plenty of time for that. Most importantly, what do you think of my jersey?
Oh, I love the colour coats.
And my new Abaris watch?
Oh, that is Isle of Beautiful.
I knew you'd like it. I saw it when we were Stornoway, and I absolutely fell in Loughborough with it. Oh, Burnham Crouch!
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Have I not given you enough froom?
Not quite. Do you think you could move your chair back just a tad, Castor?
Of course. There we are. Now, where were we?
My new timepiece. Do you know it cost £300?
Oh, my godalming. Are you having me younger?
No, it's absolutely true. I recently bought myself a gorgeous jacket, too.
Well, don't forget my cousin's a seamstress, if that helps. I know she's busy with some items this evening, actually.
Is she making them?
No, altering them. To start with anyway, then afterwards I expect she'll also be doing her usual trick of linking together two or more garments by twisting the ends around each other.
Oh, you mean she'll be...
Nottingham. Of course, she has been known to make a complete pig's ear of what previously were perfectly good items of clothing.
Oh, so she...
Wrexham, yes.
Here we are, both of you.
Gosh, that was Belfast.
There's your drink, young Mansfield.
Oh, thank you, Charlotte. That's great, Malvern.
And yours, Surbiton.
Oh, well done, Stibble, Charlotte.
I'll just be in the kitchen lest a problem should arise.
Splendid. Now, I can't wait, Jim. Your holiday snaps. Have you brought your camera?
I certainly have. Here we go. Oh, it's at the end. Let me just skip to number 1. Why don't you bring your chair round a bit closer?
Yes, good idea.
It's better from that angle, see?
Yes, much better.
Now, this is us on day 1, relaxing on the Wisbeach. Ah, what memories. The air, the Sunderland, the South Sea, the Sandbatch, the Middlesex...
Yes, I get the impression, Jim. Thank you. Now, it's not the clearest of pictures, but Teresa, she must be the one with the sandy hair and the rather large...
Bristles, yes. She's attractive, isn't she?
Rather.
I tell you, she's a right little Ravenscraig. The number of times I have to say, not now, Darlington.
Core. B.
One day, when it was really warm, she decided to go for a skinny mendip in the sea.
You're kidding.
And as soon as she'd got into the water of it, I went and hid her bathing costume.
You didn't?
I did, Kurt.
Oh, you are such a little Stockton on teas.
I know. It was all very Isles of Scilly.
How did you do it?
I went over to a nun Eaton an ice cream and asked her to stuff the costume down her habit.
Well, did you, Everton?
After about half an hour, of course, Teresa emerged.
So all the people saw her chest, I suppose?
Indeed.
Were there many people around?
Oh, plenty.
And I bet they all gave her broad grins.
No, broad stares. Eventually, I had to go and fetch her costume for her. I couldn't very well let her chrome around like that all day, could I?
No, I suppose not. Was she Banbury Cross with you?
Oh, yes. There was Hull to pay. She made stony-faced looks at me for the rest of the afternoon. I can't for the life of me think Ross on why. But do you know, Tom, apart from this minor incident, our holiday did wonders for our marriage. It showed me that I loved Teresa just as much Wenlock now as I did when we first met. The day when I felt as if I had been struck by a jarrow from Cupid's Dartford tunnel. Almost immediately our hearts were one. I feel ours will be a love that never wilts. She bucks me up so much when I'm down. To me she is the brightest star in the Isle of Skye. She has made my fife complete, and I've told her so.
Snowdonia, a man like you could have said such words, Jim.
I said 'em because I felt 'em. I knew ours would be a good marriage, ever since our wedding when I lifted her veil of Glamorgan.
And I hope you'll have many more happy years together.
Paulton le foul drink to that. Look, Tom, do you think we might cut our little chat short this evening? It's just that all this time on the road with my old Bangor today has given me something of a Birkin headache.
Of course, and I can't say I'm surprised, knowing how much you concentrate behind the wheel of that red car.
Oh, yes, I must say I do drive very, very carefully. Charlotte?
Oh, yes, Jim?
Tyne and we're going now, I'm afraid. I'd like to settle up. Could we have the Portland bill?
One Billericay coming up.
My treat, Tom.
Well, that's very kind, Jim. I'll leave a little Tipperary. Oh, by the Galway, did you see this in the newspaper? I must say I'm surprised to see what Tesco are doing with their prices.
Are they lowering them?
No, they're upping them.
Here it is, Jim.
Thank you. Well, it's been really nice to see you again, Tom.
I couldn't agree more in Marsh, Jim.
And there we are.
Thank you. Hey, Woods Heath.
Is something the matter, Jim?
You've given me the wrong change at crew for services to just about anywhere you can think of.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Jim. You're quite right. There we are.
Thank you, Toxter.
Until next time, gentlemen.
Goodbye, Charlotte.
See you before long, Melford.
Nice girl. But one has to nip these things in the bud Salterton, Tom.
I agree.
Otherwise, you don't know where it leads.
I say, do you happen to know what the weather's supposed to be looking like for tomorrow?
Grimsby.
Oh, well, perhaps it'll brighten up by the afternoon. Stanford'll hope so, anyway.
Now, that reminds me, I must write myself a note in my diary for tomorrow. The thing is, you see, I've decided to light a blazing hot bonfire and finally get rid of an old piece of garden equipment I haven't used for years.
I see.
Ah, yes, here we are, so I won't forget. Now, Saturday. Barrow in Furness. Any plans for tomorrow, Tom?
Well, in the morning I must go on the internet and express my views about this potential travesty down on the Kent coast.
What potential travesty?
Haven't you heard? There's a town down there that they want to obliterate altogether in order to build a gigantic new theme park right by the seaside. I'm dead against it, of course.
So am I. Well, listen, I'll also go on there. What's the name of the website?
Deal or no deal. Then in the afternoon I'm off to see what I gather is a fine new female horse that's just been purchased by that delightful Welsh guardsman from the Falklands conflict.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, that's right.
Simon Weston Supermare.